Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. Before we get into today's video, I kind of wanted to talk to you guys for a minute and explain kind of what you're going to see. We have not been the best about vlogging for the past month. Things have been very stressful and very chaotic, and I kind of felt like I couldn't think about anything else other than being pregnant and trying to make sure that everything was okay. And so thankfully we did pick up the camera for several different things, but as far as like daily just kind of life, we don't have a ton of that. So the first clip that you're gonna see is from January the 14th, so actually a month ago today. If you're seeing this on Valentine's Day, I don't know, it's a long vlog, so it may take a while to upload, so you may be seeing this on the 15th. But I had taken a really cheap Amazon pregnancy test on the 13th at night, and I can insert a picture here. But as you can see, it's like maybe a little bit of a line there, maybe not. I sent it to my sister and one of my friends, and I was like, does this even look like there's anything there? Am I totally making it up in my mind? And they both were like, oh my gosh, it looks like there's a second line. But again, it was so faint, and I feel like I have had on those cheapy tests, like maybe not that much of a line, but definitely where I felt like I could see where a second line was supposed to be. And then the next day it turned out to be nothing. So I was so sure that it was nothing that I waited until the next morning to go get a first response test. And as you can see from the footage, that the first response test was actually pretty dark. So I would not recommend using those Amazon tests because they were so faint. And I had even gotten a faint line on it like 2 or 3 days before that. And I'm certain that if I had been taking first response tests, I would have gotten a positive test like 4 or 5 days before I found out this time. So anyways, you're gonna see that, and then you're going to see footage from us going to my first doctor's appointment for my first beta. I have some other footage of finding out my beta results and ultrasound footage and all of that stuff that I'm going to do in future vlogs. The next vlog that you'll see will kind of have probably both of my beta results in it, and then maybe the next one will have my ultrasound footage in it. I've now had 3 ultrasounds, so we didn't film the last one for whatever reason. We just didn't. Let me know if you want me to do pregnancy updates every week. I know a lot of people do that. I'm a little over 8 weeks now, so obviously it would kind of be from like 9 weeks forward. I just feel like I don't have time to say other than I don't feel good. So let me know if that's something that you guys want to see, or if you have other requests of stuff that you guys want to see, and we will try to get that done. But yeah, enjoy this footage, and we will see you guys soon. Bye. All right, I feel like I need to read the instructions, or at least see how long. 5 seconds. And then don't read it after. It doesn't say. I mean, I'm sure it does somewhere, but I don't see it easily, so just get it over with. I don't know if I'm ready. Okay, let's just do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To be safe. Why am I so nervous? Like, it just is what it is. I feel like it has to be negative, right? Like, it has to be negative. Why is there already look like there's a second line there? Okay, I can't hold the camera right now. No way. Like, there's just no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way that it's positive. Oh my gosh. It's for sure positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know what to do. How, there's just no way. Like, how can I be pregnant?
Okay, so everything looks like it's passed.
Sissy say no, no, no.
No, no, no.
Oh my gosh.
The vampire family.
This is insane. Like, what the actual hell? Derek, what is happening? I literally took it 40 seconds ago.
Oh, yeah.
What? What in the world? This is so crazy. I can't even, like...
Mommy's okay.
You wearing your Oh Happy Day shirt? Are you excited? You're gonna be a big sister? What? 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 That's crazy. I'm so overwhelmed that, like, I just haven't even taken time to, like, fix my hair or put my makeup on today. So this is just what you're getting. But I went to Target, got another pack of first response tests, as well as a 2-pack of the clear blue. Sorry, I keep doing this on camera. Digital tests. Because I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I've never seen a positive or a pregnant on a digital test. Even when we were going through IVF and I got pregnant, I don't know why we didn't ever do it. I mean, it was a stressful, if you guys experienced it with us, it was a stressful, like, few weeks of pregnancy. So I don't blame myself for, like, not thinking, oh, let me go get a digital test so I can see the word pregnant. So hopefully this will show up. It's a 2-pack, so if it doesn't show up today, I'll take another one, like, tomorrow morning. I don't have the same TMI, the same P that I used this morning on the first response, but I just took this one and it's pretty positive. So I'm hoping there will be enough for this. If not, again, I said I have the 2-pack and everything else. I text Derek, he's at work. I said, everything that I pee on says yes. He was like, you're hilarious. I was like, what can I say? So let's do this. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. I don't know why I get, like, every time I dip a test today, I get so nervous. Like, it's not, even when I had my miscarriage, it doesn't just go away. So, I don't know why I'm so nervous, but I just am. So I guess we're gonna watch this countdown. Oh my gosh, I think I missed it because all of a sudden I read the instructions and I did it for 5 seconds and then I was reading them while I was going across and it said to hold it down and if you pee in a cup to do it for 20 seconds. And so I got freaked out and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to hold it in it for longer. So then, oh my gosh, it says pregnant. This is insane. Ooh, my pee's been on that. But, like, you guys see that? I don't even know, like, how the best way is to hold it. Totally says pregnant. That's insane. I'm pregnant. Like, I don't think it's even, like, halfway sunk in yet. I'm pregnant. 9 years, IVF, a fresh and a frozen transfer, Clomid, IUIs, all of that, and out of the blue, just get pregnant. It's insane. I don't even think I've told you guys my first appointment is tomorrow morning at 9:45 a.m. I started getting kind of frantic this morning because my progesterone was low with our IVF pregnancy. And so, what am I trying to say? I don't have a regular OB here. I only have an RE. And when I called them, they were like, oh, we won't see you if you're pregnant. And I was like, I literally need a beta and a progesterone draw so that you can prescribe progesterone if I need it. And they were like, you're just gonna have to call an OB. So thankfully, Derek got on the case super fast and called and made an appointment with an OB. So it's 9:45 a.m. tomorrow. They're going to do my beta and my progesterone at the office, and then they will call progesterone in for me if I need it. I'm really, really hoping and praying that my progesterone is okay and that maybe I can just get put on like a suppository called Crenone. I 100% will take the progesterone and oil injections until 12 weeks if I need to, but anyone who has done those knows they're literally a pain in the butt. And I still have like phantom pains from when I had to take it for IVF. So I would love to not have to take it, but I also would love to take it if I need to. So I'm going tomorrow. We should get the results tomorrow, hopefully around noon. So yeah, oh my gosh, I can't believe it says pregnant. Let's just look at it one more time, like just one more time. How freaking insane. Why will it not focus? There it is. Just gonna try to, pregnant. I am pregnant. Maybe if I turn it. There it is. Pregnant. Elizabeth Hyatt is pregnant. I feel like I have to keep coming in here and checking these because I don't believe that they're real. So where are we going? What? Oh, with her feet.
We are going to the doctor.
For
a pregnancy.
How do you feel?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm happy.
Well, yeah. Are you nervous, or you just think that like this is what we've been waiting for?
I mean, I'm nervous to see what happens because it's not like this hasn't happened before.
Just not this way.
Not this way, but. So I'm interested to see what comes out.
I don't really know how to feel. I feel like I keep having panic attacks thinking that I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'm gonna be bleeding because that's what happened when we did IVF. But I told Derek I'm trying to convince myself that like the bleeding was a result of the pregnancy not being healthy, not that the bleeding caused me to have a miscarriage, because I think that's what I've been nervous about, because my tests have been so dark so early that I feel like the baby itself is growing well. So my concern would be that like either my progesterone isn't high enough or that I would just start bleeding and that would make it stop growing. So I don't know. I don't know at what point I will like be able to breathe a little bit. I feel like once I get like a week or two past when my period was supposed to start, maybe I'll feel better, because I've never made it past that without bleeding.
Right.
So
the next couple of weeks are probably going to be
right, and like getting to that first ultrasound and like making sure that there's a heartbeat and stuff like that. I mean, I'm probably going to be holding my breath through the whole thing, no matter what, whether everything goes perfectly or not, just because like I am grateful that it happened without like medical intervention, because sometimes I worry that like we force our bodies to get pregnant and then our bodies are just not healthy enough to carry a pregnancy, and so then things happen, you know, later on or whatever. So I am grateful that like we weren't trying
right, like
anything.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Like this
month would have been the hardest month for it to happen. So
yeah, like I don't even know how it happened.
Where we're going there.
Yeah, like it just, there have been hundreds of other months that I would have been like, oh yeah, maybe this one. So that makes me feel a little bit better, like you know, yesterday when I realized I wasn't gonna be able to get my blood drawn until today, I was like, well, I'm just hoping that because my body just decided to get pregnant, that my body knows what it's doing and it's gonna take care of it. So we'll see how things go, what today's numbers bring. If my progesterone is good, I feel like that's gonna make me feel better. I really want a beta above 50. Ideally, I would love for it to be 80 to 100 or more. So I don't know, we'll see. I hate to like put limits on things, because then if it comes in at 49, then like I'll still be happy, but.
Right. I mean, I think at that point, like, the doctor's just gonna have you come back and probably do more blood work.
Right. I mean, I would love for it to be high enough to where they're like, you don't need to come back. But at the same time, for my own peace of mind, I know I'm probably going to want to go back just because of what happened last time.
And at least have a second draw.
Right.
And see what the numbers look like after.
Well, today was, I don't want to say uneventful. Went to my doctor's appointment. It was kind of funny. I guess whoever Derek talked to yesterday, sorry, Ellie's crying. Whoever Derek talked to yesterday did not tell the doctor, or either they didn't put it in the notes or like whatever, that I already had taken a test and I already knew I was pregnant, because they were asking me, the nurse was asking me all of these questions about different things, and finally, like, after all of my history, she was like, so you want to like try to get pregnant and for us to put you on progesterone? Because I said I want to be put on progesterone, like I have low progesterone. And Derek and I were like, no, like I'm already pregnant. And she was like, oh my gosh. And so then she had to ask me like a ton of other questions. Then the doctor comes in and she's like, well, the nurse like gave me the rundown, but like I'd love to hear the story from you guys, like from the beginning, like what all have you done? And so we told her from the beginning. And they were kind of confused. They were like, well, because Ellie and Derek were with me, and so they were looking at her and they were like, was she vaginal or C-section? And I was like, we adopted her. And so they were kind of like confused about that at first, like thinking that I had given birth, but yet I was trying to say that I had never had a successful pregnancy before. So anyways, we did that, and then she was like, well, I think what we should do today is go ahead and draw your labs. So we did the HCG and the progesterone. Because they're not like an RE office, they're just a regular OB, you don't get your results back until the next day, which is kind of like, I hate that, because now I'm gonna have to wait until tomorrow. But whatever, it's the end of today. It's already like 7:08. So we've almost made it to the end of today. And then, so we did that. And then she went ahead and put me on Prometrium, I think is the progesterone suppository she put me on. And it's a suppository, but she said I could also take it orally, but a lot of people don't like to take it orally because you have more symptoms that way. But she did warn me that I would have some pinkish discharge, and I was like, absolutely not. Like, I will take the worst symptoms in the book right now over thinking that I'm starting to bleed, because that's like my worst fear right now. So I took it orally today. I definitely feel worse, like especially within like the first 2 hours after I took it. I felt like, oh, like I was exhausted. I still am tired, but it's not as bad now. My muscles are all aching. It started just with my back, and so of course that worried me, but then it radiated like to my legs and my arms. And from what I've heard from my friends, honey, you cannot chew on that. You're gonna eat the tape. From what I've heard from them, it's just like normal. Pregnancy just does that. So anyways, get the results tomorrow. I go back on Friday. We will not get those results until Monday. And then my first ultrasound is February the 8th, which is insane. It just, there was like, Unless you have gone through infertility, you can't possibly know what it feels like to finally be the one sitting in an office and saying, I'm pregnant, and scheduling an ultrasound and not being afraid when you take a blood test or even just a regular pregnancy test, because you know it's going to be positive, it's going to say pregnant. I've never experienced that before. You know, the one time that our beta, or the few times that our beta was positive, when we did our fresh transfer of IVF, I didn't know that I was pregnant. It was so low that it wasn't showing up on pregnancy tests. So I didn't know that I was pregnant. And so that was a complete shock. But I'm really trying to take it one day at a time. I'll show you guys my tests later. I'm gonna put Ellie to bed here in just a few minutes. But I like started freaking out this afternoon, which will probably be a common occurrence for me. And so I was like, let me just take a cheap test and a first response test. And so I did. And right away, both of them were completely positive, like before the pee had even like gone all the way across the test, which is so insane to me. But then the first response like looked lighter right at first, and I was like, great, of course. Like, why wouldn't it be lighter? Of course it's gonna be lighter. And so I was like beating myself up about it for a few minutes. And I like made myself walk away for like 3 minutes and come back, and by then it was much darker than it was yesterday. And then the cheap one is like doubly as dark, which, a word from someone who has been taking pregnancy tests for the past 2 days, those cheap tests that you buy on Amazon, like I would not trust them, because I'll show you like the lightness compared to the first response. Like the first response is blatantly dark positive, like really dark. And the cheap test from yesterday is like, you could tell it was positive, but like, was it really, or was it a fake, like false positive line? Today's is definitely like more positive. Like you would definitely look at it and be like, oh, you're pregnant. But like the first response today, the test line was just as dark as the control line. So I know like at this point it's gonna start to be harder to test and see a line progression, because it's the same darkness as the control line. I know sometimes it will like pull, you know, dye from the control line to the test line if it needs more, but I have 2 more first response tests, and I have 1 more digital test. So I'm not really planning on like testing a whole lot. I'll probably test tomorrow, and maybe, tomorrow's Wednesday. Maybe like on Sunday or something while I'm waiting for my second beta to come back, just to be sure that like it's at least as dark as it is this week. But yeah. I mean, the doctor was just kind of shocked with us, and she was like, you know, we're going to be really cautiously optimistic and believe that like this is your miracle baby. And so then of course I was like, well, like I have my miracle baby already. This baby is just a bonus. You know, we are so fortunate and so blessed. And I think if anything, this is just a testament to like, you got to go through the hard stuff to get to the good stuff. And, you know, on the hard days, like you just can't even imagine, like you can't even imagine the good stuff that's coming. You just kind of have to stick with it. And I know it sucks. But anyways, I'm going to put Ellie to bed, and then I will show you my pregnancy tests. So these are all of my tests. Let me see if I can line them up so you guys can see like the difference in, see if it'll focus. The top was yesterday afternoon and the bottom was this afternoon. So you can definitely see a substantial difference on that one. And then the top first response was yesterday, bottom was today. So definitely, like I said at first, like within the first 20 seconds, it looked like it was going to be lighter, but it just took a minute for it to get all of the dye across, and it's definitely like thicker and darker. Derek makes fun of me every time I send him a new pregnancy test because I was like, I can't help it. I have to pee on everything. So it is what it is. But anyways, yeah.